Hey y'all, this is Retha.
Hey, this is Deandra, and you are now listening to.
Coffee, Heels, and Conversation podcast.
So grab your coffee and listen in. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing?
What's up, people?
Hopefully, y'all are well. Welcome back to another episode of The Pod.
We did.
And as we are so happy that y'all are here, and as always, we will take care of the church announcement. Okay. Rita, what are you drinking today?
Girl, I just, mixing coffees. And
Okay.
this time because I used the last of my oat milk creamer, so I put some heavy cream.
Okay.
And
How's that? Heavy cream.
let's try.
She said, let's try. We're doing a taste test for our
It's
audio
all right.
listeners.
It's all right. I prefer the oat milk creamer for sure.
Okay.
I
All
need
right.
no more dairy in my body. Hello.
Hello. Gotcha. I'm having, like I always say, well, I won't say always because I do be venturing, but it's still from the Church of Walmart today. We are doing a French vanilla with the caramel syrup. I need y'all to get on putting caramel syrup in your coffee
I need to do
or
that.
chocolate syrup. I will say, please don't do it if you're allergic. Don't blame me. Thank you. And then a little bit of degular creamer. That's what we're doing today. So, Retha, you were
Hmm.
telling me, I feel like a few days ago, about a
Hmm.
conversation I believe you heard, or like an interview or something, where someone stated that depression is a luxury. Can you tell our people a bit more about that?
Yes. So it was an interview I was watching. And well, okay, let me preface this by saying I saw a clip of an interview.
Okay.
I haven't gone to watch the full interview, but the clip that stood out to me was someone talking about depression being a luxury.
Hmm.
And me immediately feeling like that was a dangerous comment to say.
Okay.
And, I don't know this person's story, I don't know, like, but it's like in my mind, it's like to me, luxury is me going to Dubai tomorrow,
Right. Yeah.
me going to me going to some like being on the Emirates. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like depression for me has not been a luxury. It is
Right.
not a luxury. So it's like it was like I just and it's so funny because I commented on the clip and I was like, this is very dangerous. And that's all I said, depression is not a luxury, this is dangerous. And then I had people respond to me. I'm just like, y'all don't know me, but okay. And then I had to tell myself, don't even respond because it's like, or whatever. But like, I will share a couple of the comments that I got. Oh, you're just making excuses. And I could have been like,
Making
I'm sorry.
excuses.
Do you know me?
Right.
How do you interacted in real life? Well,
Right.
like I had someone say, well, for me, I was a kid and I had depression, and then I realized that it is luxury. I'm like, okay, that's for you,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And Um, yeah, so that of course triggered this like desire to talk about it because it's like everybody's experience with depression is different,
Hmm.
I will say. But it's like it's almost like did people not learn that depression doesn't look a certain way?
Right. Yeah.
Because look at what happened, even though I didn't know who he was, look at what happened with Twitch.
Hmm.
Everybody said he looked so happy and he had all this great success and all of this, whatever,
Right.
and he still took his own life. Or like, and it's almost like it's like people are not like receiving the information that they're given. Because look at Robin Williams,
Hmm. Right. Yeah.
great comedic actor, great funny man. Sounds like he was super. Like I've always loved Robin Williams. It seemed like
Hmm.
he was like really cheering and really kind and all of that. And he's still.
Right.
But for some reason, we think depression looks a certain way, and it doesn't. And I'm tired of this
Hmm.
idea that like, oh, like it doesn't look all there are people that literally physically cannot move, get up, do anything when they're in a depression.
Right.
And you have people like me who literally function. Like I have had functional depression, but like I'm still getting up and going to work,
Hmm.
still doing what I gotta do. But when I come home, it's done. So
Right.
it's like so it triggered me wanting to just talk about it a little bit
Hmm.
because I it's like people really, really this is my thing. This may sound harsh to some. Sorry. People need to shut up.
Hmm.
because I really feel like a lot of the things that are shared on the internet, specifically and on social media, that if you would just shut up.
Mhm.
Just because it's not your experience does not mean it's not somebody else's.
Right. Yeah.
And we do this generalization of people, and it's aggravating to me because like everybody is different.
Right.
Everybody handles things differently. Everybody experiences things differently. And for me, what about the people that need medication?
Mhm.
That's a luxury that they need a medication? I'm
Mhm.
sorry, what? So anyway, that triggered me. I was just like, what in the hell are we talking about here?
Yeah, I wish that there was more context because I do wanna know, like, what was that person thinking when they said depression is a luxury?
Mhm.
What is luxurious? Like, luxurious, that's not a word. What is
Luxurious?
luxurious about
Yeah,
depression? Like, I don't even like, even trying to play devil's advocate and be like, "Well, maybe they meant," but it's like, what did you mean?
yeah,
What part of somebody's mental health is a luxury?
yeah,
Or mental, like, struggle is a luxury? Like, depression is not a choice. It's not like you choose to wake up or lay down, wake up and stay in the bed and be like, you know what? I choose to be depressed today. I choose to not do the dishes, even though I haven't done dishes in 4 days. I choose not to take a shower, even though I haven't showered in 2 weeks. Like that, this is still my choice. For the last 14 days, I have chosen to be in this bed and be in this mental state. Like,
yeah.
what part of that is a choice?
And that's the part that I don't get, and that's why I was like, I part of me was like, "Should I listen to the whole thing?" And I kind of was, like, thinking about it, I was like, "You know what? I don't know, maybe one day I will," but at least I prefaced it by saying I didn't listen to the whole thing, so it might be
Yeah.
other stuff, but it's
Yeah,
also,
of
like,
course.
this thing of, like, I'm tired of especially in the Black community, that's, like in the Christian community, like, how, like, we're getting better, but then we still got room to grow because
Yeah.
it's like we need to stop this narrative about what depression is and what it's not because we all have different chemistries in our body. We all have different brain functions. Like there's people
Mhm.
that literally have a chemical imbalance, so they have to take medication. There are people who, like I said, who can function, who can still do their thing, like Twitch and Robin Williams, who are still doing their thing,
Mhm.
but silently struggling. And it's like we cannot. And you would think that with that recently happening, this would not be said.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
But it's like, okay, like, even for me, and I'll share my own experience, like, if you follow me on social media, you probably have seen the post, but the beginning of last year, I was seriously considering killing myself.
Mhm.
Like, no sugarcoat, no nothing. And it was because of some things I was dealing with because I was, you know, I'm been in a transition for a few years, and it's like I'm adjusting to this new iteration of myself, and dealing with like the ramifications of me not being the Jaretha that was compliant and all this stuff like that, and me being very much indignant and militant, all that, and like grappling with that and being like I don't like who this Jaretha is, like literally.
Mhm.
And I don't know how I came out of that. I thank God that I came out of that, but I could feel it in my body that I was about to get up and do what I was going to do.
Mhm.
And thankfully, I fell asleep that night because I tried to force myself to stay in the bed, and I
Mhm.
feel like God just did whatever He did because I remember waking up the next day and having a thought. I don't know when I had this thought throughout the
Mhm.
day, but like, "Oh, I'm still here." So that told me this was real.
Mhm.
It wasn't just like, "Oh," and a fleeting idea. It was like, "I'm about to do this." And
Mhm.
then even for that next day, like I made sure, hello, I made sure that next day to get some time with God that morning. And like the Spirit brought to mind everybody that would have been affected,
Mhm.
everybody in my life that would have been affected had I done that.
Right. Yeah.
And that's another thing that told me this was real.
Mhm.
And then it propelled me into this getting therapy and all this other stuff. But it's like, you cannot, that wasn't a luxury.
Mhm.
Because had I done that, I wouldn't have had the year that I've had that
Mhm.
passed. my parents and my friends and people that love me and care about me would have been dealing with the grief. They would have come to the holidays and been like, "Dang, Teresa will be here."
Mhm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure
Mhm.
that other families have gone through that. Like, even with me posting that, I had a coworker share with me that, like, "Oh, that's how like, you don't know this, but that's how my mother passed away. So when I saw your post, it just really touched me." Like, I didn't think like I shared that. I had reasons for sharing what I shared that day because I
Mhm.
know that people have their ideas about who I am and this iteration of myself. And it's like, this is what y'all don't know,
Mhm.
you know?
Right.
But it's also like the face of depression. Cause like, and I even shared throughout the year, I shared things like that where this is the face of a girl who has been in dark places.
Mhm.
And
Right.
mind you, I may seem like I'm having a good time and I'm having fun, but a girl be struggling as well.
Mhm.
And you cannot sit there and tell somebody that it's a luxury.
Right.
And especially the person, and I didn't reply to anybody's comment because at the end of the day, they don't know me. And this is my thing. I literally said this to somebody because somebody was like, "Oh, this person thinks that you're holding things against them." It's like, dude, what I wanted to tell you was like, I almost died. I don't care.
Right.
I literally almost died. I am not holding anything against you. I don't care.
Mhm.
I am fighting for my freaking life, fam. I could care. I couldn't care less.
Right. Yeah. Well, I thank you for sharing that. That's definitely very open of you. And I definitely can understand even that feeling of just not wanting to be here.
Mhm.
So I get that. And I think that it's selfish of people to say like, "Oh, that was a luxury," and that was like, you were lucky, like almost like saying like you were lucky to have experienced that. And it's like that's not at all how any of us feel. Um, but also another thing about that comment is almost, I think, to what you were saying before. Some people who may have wanted to share now they don't, because now they don't know how they're going to be judged, or they feel like they're going to be judged and not helped. And sometimes people, um, I feel like sometimes people are afraid to share things because it's like, what's the point? One,
Mhm.
you obviously don't care. And two,
Yeah.
now we have comments like depression is a luxury, or anything else other than like, I'm so sorry that you're experiencing that.
Yeah.
We have everything else but that. What can I do to help, or is there anything I can do to help? Do you want to talk about it? Is there anything that I can help you with in this situation? Instead of
Yeah.
people asking those questions, you have like I mean, like how many times have you seen somebody post something about being really sad, or not wanting to be here anymore, and you're like, people roll their eyes off. Here we go. Like, to be honest, I was guilty of that. I had a friend who would often enough post kind of creepy, eerie comments about like just not want to be here, or when I'm not here, you'll feel like this, and
Mhm.
anything like that. And I would always reach out, even if I wanted to be like, here we go. I would always reach out and be like, hey, you okay? Do you want to talk? Hey,
Mhm.
this happened. Do you want to talk? I will always reach out. Sometimes they would not respond, and sometimes, for the most part, they might. We actually went to church together, so it was another. And if I saw them on Sunday, hey, you okay? I say a post. Are you cool? And they were, oh yeah, I'm cool. I was just saying, whatever. So one day they posted again, and I was like, "Ah, dang, I don't feel like I should reach out. I should. And I got distracted, didn't reach out, and they did end up taking their own life.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
for a long time, I blamed myself for that because I
Mhm.
was like, you were the person who would always reach out. And this one time you didn't, and now they're no longer here.
Yeah.
And that is one of the reasons why I always say, like, now if I think about somebody, I'm gonna reach out, because you don't know what, even if you say, hey, thinking about you, you okay? Like even give them the chance to at least talk about it. Now, I know
Yeah.
that sometimes that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes people already have their mind made up about what they're going to
Mm.
do,
Yeah.
how they feel.
Mhm.
And so there's nothing that you can say to deter them. And that's also not your job, but just try to be there as often as you can. Um, but I did learn from that. Like, if
Yeah.
someone's on your mind, reach out. If somebody says something and you're in the position to say, hey, you
Yeah.
okay? Can I help you with anything? Can I give you a resource or whatever, do that because it's not your job to judge whether they're serious or not. It's not your job to judge whether this is attention seeking behavior or not. If it's on your heart or mind to reach out, do it.
And just do it,
Because you don't at this day and age, you don't know. You literally don't know. And you don't have the luxury to wait and find out.
That's real. And like, I appreciate you sharing that because that's like, that's hard, right? And especially with like, I'm a lot like you. I would have blamed myself too, but it's like you can't blame yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like because historically you did reach out to that person, but I do get that like where you're like, dang it, maybe if I had reached out, then this person wouldn't have done that. And like you
Right.
said, you still could have very well done it. Because I used to be in this mindset of like this is not with depression or anything, but like I used to be in this mindset that like, oh, if I'm around this person, then they won't sin. That's not my responsibility.
Right.
I can't
Right.
keep them from sinning. I have to also go home. Like, and
Right.
whatever happens with that person, that's their decision. So it's like
Mhm.
we can't. I get it, but we can't put ourselves like we can't give ourselves that responsibility. But I definitely get it. Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's crazy because you really, honestly, never know what's. And that's why I'm like, can we all just be kind?
Yeah.
Because like, what if I was
Exactly.
like with the comments that I got, right? What if I was in a state and that just took me off?
Mhm.
And that's the thing. People will make comments. It's like you don't even know why do you have so much. Why do you feel a need
Mhm.
or responsibility to reply? And I kept getting replies. I literally would just like, I didn't even look at them anymore. I'm like, I don't see that.
Right.
No. But it's like, we really have to be mindful and careful of how we respond to people because you
Yeah.
never know. Because I mean, look at all these babies that are killing themselves because of cyberbullying.
Right. Yeah.
Like people are so unthinking and unkind when they comment or
Mhm.
reply to something. It's like, are you considering? And this is something I feel like too. It's like people are not putting themselves in that person's shoes.
Mhm.
They're just saying whatever they feel without. Let me see. How would I, if I'm going to say this? How would I feel if somebody said this to me? I don't
Right.
think people know. And even what was so funny, so Melissa Frederick shared this thing yesterday about like how like there's people that will comment on her stuff just to disagree.
Mhm.
It's a pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand when people do that because it's like, okay, I will post something they don't agree with. They be all over my comments, but when I'm posting my blog and my podcast, dead silence.
Right.
So you're over here. And I have to check myself when I have that inkling or somebody says something. I'm like, wait, hold on, Doretha, no, don't even comment.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that's not nobody wants that or needs that. Like we need to actually learn to be kind to
Mhm.
each other because we are not
Yeah.
sometimes, you know. And we need to have more compassion. I have to check myself on that because there's some people I'm just like my compassion is very lacking.
Not
I'm
lacking.
having it, girl. I'm having to like, Lord help me to be compassionate. It's not like depression related, but it's just like,
Yeah.
but it's like because we never know what someone is struggling with or going through, our default should be kindness
Mhm.
because you don't know what that person, you don't know, especially when you, not even when you don't know the person, even more when you know the person. But
Mhm.
it's like when you don't know the person, just be kind. Like
Right.
it doesn't have to be this thing of, oh, let me just say this random thing. Start putting yourself in other people's shoes and
Yeah.
thinking about, okay, this person has made this comment or this person has shared this. Let me just default to kindness.
Yeah.
Let me just default to, I don't know what they're going through and why they're saying what they're saying.
Mhm.
So let me just back up and people just be like some keyboard gangsters because bet y'all wouldn't say that to my face.
Hello. All right. So I wanted to share some resources for people who possibly need who want therapy also or may want help. Um this is not our sponsor, but because we support Kevin on Stage podcast
Yeah.
and Kevin on Stage Studios, we will let you know what their code is for BetterHelp and Talkspace. It is Crew with the K, and I believe that they have there's going to be like some discounted rate if you use that code to be able to use both of those resources. BetterHelp and Talkspace, as well as the suicide hotline, which is 988. If
Mhm.
you are researching for a therapist, you can use Psychology Today and you can search
Mhm.
for a therapist on there. Also, therapy for Black girls. She has a
Mhm. Yep.
directory on her website
Mhm.
that will give you therapists in your area who are also Black, and I believe people of color, but don't quote me on that part. But I know that there definitely is a Black therapist on her thing as well. And then I believe there's one more resource. Give me a quick second. Hold on.
And these resources will also be linked down below in the episode notes as well as the YouTube video.
Yes. And then hold on, I'm sorry. Give me one second. Okay, so okay. Oprah on her website, she has 13 mental health resources that are absolutely free. So, and there are a couple of websites. I'm just gonna give the depression one. It is dbsalliance.org. And that is for people with depression or bipolar disorder. So, just because we're talking
Mhm.
about depression, I'm just gonna give that one. But if you go to Oprah's website, she has 13 mental health resources that are absolutely free. So, just want to
That's
give
right.
a little
Yeah.
bit of just some. I didn't want to like talk about this and then offer
Not
nothing.
leave like with nothing.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
especially those that, because some people who listen to us are also fellow believers in Jesus Christ. There's
Yes,
also
yes.
links to Focus on the Family has a list of Christian, like you can search for Christian therapists.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever. So I'll also link that as well. But it's important to really don't feel shame
Hmm.
because I
Yeah.
still battle with like, should I share this and should I not? And I'm like, and this is the thing, there's not, we all need attention, love, affection.
Mm,
It's nothing wrong with having those needs. You're not a bad person because you have those needs.
yeah.
That's something that I'm having to learn myself. But just get support. If you don't have family or friends that can understand or be there for you, get some support because it's very important because you're here. God created you for a reason. Even if you don't
Mm,
believe Jesus, you are here for a reason.
mm.
You have value and we need you.
Exactly. We do. We need you. So please reach out. Also, one last thing that just came to my mind. Most insurance companies will allow you to use your insurance um,
Mhm.
for mental health. You have to probably just call and find out. But and most supposedly most jobs have an employee assistance program, which
Mhm.
usually
Yeah.
includes mental health in that as well. So reach out to your job or even
Yeah.
your medical insurance, and you may be able to
Yeah.
just pay your regular copay for
Yeah.
therapy. So definitely look
Even
into
yeah.
those resources as well.
And even like if you have like your employee handbook or your your insurance handbook, look through that and see. Because I
Right.
helped
Yeah.
someone do that, and I'm like, oh, they have this section in your program booklet.
Right.
So
And then,
yes,
I know, and I have used it with mine too. I have used my medical insurance and just paid my regular
okay.
copay for therapy as well. And if
Yeah,
there now you are limited to the ones that your like the therapist and your medical insurance
hmm,
are partnered with, but still, my therapist was pretty
still
good as
worth
well.
trying. Yeah,
So, yeah. Just reach out. Help is available. And then if you don't feel like going through any of those avenues, reach out to us. You can reach me at Deandra.Monique on Instagram. You can reach out to the pod, Coffee Hills Convo Pod. Our messages are pretty much open. So just message us and we will get back to you as soon as possible and try to help you out in any way that we can. How can they reach you, Rita?
you can reach me on Instagram at Re the Author. And you can also, I think you can also send messages on our website, chcpod.com. Don't forget to follow us on all podcast platforms.
Yes.
Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And seriously, we are really trying to grow this year. So the more that you engage by commenting or sharing and liking, following on Spotify, subscribing on all the other listening platforms will really help us to become more discoverable. So please.
Yes, please and thank you. We appreciate y'all. And we love y'all. We hope that y'all have a great week and we will talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.